So I'm Matthew Kahl, and my movie was The Theory of Everything. And I gave it 3.5 black holes because I thought it was a good movie. It was just hard to understand parts of it. So to start off, the movie started in the 1960s at Cambridge University, England. And this is where Stephen Hawking was studying cosmology. And then shortly into the movie, Jane Wilde and Stephen Hawking fell in love at a college party. And this, their love just kind of progressed as the movie went on. And at this point, Stephen Hawking was enrolled in college, and walking in the park one day, he fell down and was rushed to the hospital where he was diagnosed with ALS, which is a disorder, or like a disease that'll eat away nerve tissue from your brain and spinal cord. So slowly you lose control of your muscles and they deteriorate. And the doctors only gave him 2 years to live, but this was at age 21, so clearly he outlived that 2-year lifespan that they gave him. And shortly after being diagnosed, he presented Hawking radiation, which I'll explain further on in the presentation. And then, so Jane and Stephen got married, had kids, and then Jane was kind of questioning her role in the family. She felt like she was mainly the caregiver, not really the wife or the mom. So she talked to her mom and decided to join the church choir where she met Jonathan. And right off the bat, Jonathan and Jane had a really special relationship. They kind of fell in love with each other. But Jane couldn't do anything because she was still married to Stephen. And then, so Stephen got sick, and then they had to do a trach, so then he couldn't talk anymore. So now he's mute. So they had to hire Elaine, who was a therapist, to help him learn how to communicate again using a board that had groups of letters along with colors. So he would blank what group he wanted, and then they would say the color of each letter, and then he would blank what letter he wanted. So Elaine was mainly there just to help Stephen. And then kind of the last straw in Jane and Stephen's relationship was when Stephen invited Elaine to go to America to watch him receive an award. And this was kind of Jane's way of letting Stephen go, and after this they got a divorce. And then Stephen and Elaine got married, and Jane and Jonathan got married. So it was kind of weird to see how both of them split off and got married. Okay, so a little bit about Hawking radiation. So basically all over the universe, case number 1 is happening where 2 particles emerge for a couple seconds, and then they find a mate. So one has positive mass and one has negative mass, and they are looking for that pair. Once they find each other, they combine and basically destroy each other. And that's just happening all over the universe spontaneously. And then case number 2 is where the 2 particles appear close to a black hole, and both of them get sucked into the black hole and basically just die. And then Hawking radiation is case number 3, where the positive particle will go into the black hole, past the event horizon, but the negative one will take energy from the black hole and kind of radiate off of it, and this just causes heat. So the event horizon is this white band right there, and that's kind of the boundary of a black hole. So anything that passes through the event horizon cannot go back through, and any information that contains is kind of held on the event horizon. So once the negative particle, when it goes away, it takes energy from the black hole, causing it to shrink a little bit just because it's losing energy to those particles. And the smaller the black hole, the hotter the radiation that it radiates off is. And also it shrinks at a faster rate when it gets smaller and smaller. So the larger, they're a lot cooler, and they don't shrink as fast. Okay, so some of the math in Hawking radiation. There were a lot of formulas to look at. There was 43 sub-equations that kind of use each other to make themselves, I guess. So I just looked at 3 of them. The first one is to find the temperature around the black hole. And this is just to figure out the size of it. So like I said, smaller equals hotter, so they can kind of use that gauge to determine the size of it and also how fast it's shrinking. And then this formula right here is to find the radius of the black hole. So when you find the radius, you're able to figure out how big the event horizon is, and once again, you can use that to figure out the size and decaying the heat of it. And then this formula is to find the acceleration of gravity at the event horizon. So this is the gravity that the black hole has drawing things into it. So that was kind of cool to see how all of them relate. And using those 43, like, that's how you get a lot of the variables, by using other formulas. So it's hard to like look at the master formula because there wasn't really one. Okay, and then so when Stephen Hawking like proposed Hawking radiation, people kind of looked at him in disbelief, kind of questioning how he got there. So he decided to create a theory of everything, which is a hypothetical, single, all-encompassing, coherent theoretical framework of physics that fully explains and links together all physical aspects of the universe. So it basically just like wraps up everything about the universe into one theory. And in that last like award that he received, he gave a speech and he admitted that he was wrong to think that there could be a theory of everything. And basically he talked about how it cannot be proven that there's a theory for everything. So it was kind of cool to see how he went back and admitted that he was wrong about that. So some frustrations that I had when doing it. So watching the movie, I thought I understood it like perfectly. But then after like diving into each of the equations, I had no idea what I was doing. So the math was hard to understand. And it was hard to find like reliable sources online just because there were so many variations of what people thought Hawking radiation was. Some people suggested that the negative particle went into the black hole, causing it to lose mass because it's negative mass. But after like researching more and more about it, more people suggested that the negative one shot away from the black hole, taking energy from it. And then it was hard to understand all of the theories that went into Hawking radiation along with like the theory of everything. There were just so many out there and they kind of all relied on each other in order to like make themselves up. So that was hard to like understand all of those. Any questions?
You know how to stop it.
Yeah. I know you probably